So my goal was to update you about this book. I was going to read a few chapters and then update you. I read till chapter 9, which is 115 pages inside this book, almost halfway through. Um, Sadly to say, I am DNFing Cole for Christmas. I am extremely bored, and it kind of sucks because I like the trope of this book. So basically, it's set on Christmas Eve. We follow around two perspectives, Cole and Katie, and Katie is alone for the holidays. She is no longer in a relationship. Her ex-boyfriend cheated on her, and she's trying to get drunk and wasted on Christmas Eve. So she goes to the grocery store to get a bottle of wine, but all of the wine is basically out of stock. Cole is someone who is a chef who has sworn off relationships because his ex-fiance left him at the altar, and he's there to also pick up wine, but for a different reason. They both reach for the same wine bottle, and then they start to get to talking, and they're flirting with each other, and it's supposed to be cute. I didn't really feel any chemistry between them, but it's supposed to be cute. But he gets a call unexpectedly, and he starts to smile, and his whole face lights up. So she's assuming it's the love of his life, and she just grabs one of the wine bottles and heads out. And she gets a call from her sister saying, like, hey, I'm sick. There's a wedding I'm supposed to be managing tonight, but I can't make it. Can you step up to do it for me? And her sister agrees to do it. And when she goes to the event, it turns out Cole is the chef there. But when she was on the phone with her sister, she was like, oh, you're going to meet the person who runs the place. His name's Blaine, and he's an asshole. And Cole goes there. His boss, Blaine, is like, oh, I can't make the event, so you're going to be the manager for tonight. So they never exchanged names. And 115 pages in, they still haven't exchanged names. And it's a whole miscommunication trope because they're trying to not flirt with each other because they find each other attractive, but also they both are getting annoyed with each other because of what each person said about their bosses. But I'm bored. I am bored to tears. And what's crazy is all the writing, like all of the fun concepts are there, right? It's a Christmas Eve wedding. There's a snowstorm happening. Heck of people are late, or things are happening that shouldn't be happening during the snowstorm. There's some cute moments. I think the best cute moment is Katie's ex-boyfriend turns out to be the DJ of the event, and instead of running into him, she tries to hide, and then Cole helps her hide from him. But other than that, I don't feel any chemistry between the characters. I'm not really feeling the writing style. So sadly, I'm DNFing this book. What I am picking up is this one, The Kingdom of Sweets. This is a book of the month book. This is a Nutcracker retelling, and I've never watched the Nutcracker, so I don't really know what that means. But there's two sisters, they're twins, and their grandfather gives them a blessing, but like the blessings aren't that good for everybody. So one sister has like this happy life, like happy-go-lucky life, everything she wants she gets, and the other sister is just like in the shadows. She's in the background, nobody loves her. But then somehow they end up in some Candyland type of thing, another world. So I don't know what happens, and I really don't want to read the synopsis because what if it spoils something. But I'll give you an update because I'm kind of intrigued. I don't know, maybe this is a mystery thriller, I'm not really sure, but it's not a romance, so I'm excited to read this, and I'll give you an update when I have one. Okay, so I want to show you what I'm doing. So it's kind of like paint by numbers, but it's called paint by diamonds, and these are all coasters, Christmas themed. So there's Spider-Man, Captain America, the Grinch, Brown Stitch, Pikachu, Sonic, and Mario. So I'm gonna do these three for my friends and then give it to him for Christmas. And basically I open up these little diamonds and just stick them on. It's that easy. So I can do that. I just got the audiobook. I'm gonna press play, and yeah.
Stolen a chocolate cake and 2 spoons from Anastasia's kitchen, then run off upstairs to hide in a wardrobe while we ate the entire cake. They found us hours later, asleep in each other's arms, and we were not punished, as I surely would have been if I had acted alone. Things would work out well. So Clara had always believed during every crisis of her life, and she had always been proven right. Even a full belly was not enough to merit serious concern. You're right not to tell Anna, I said, perching on the edge of Clara's settee. He might insist on marrying you, and then Father would sack him. Have him flogged, even. Father wouldn't do that. I looked at her, surprised and a bit amused, as always, by her strange blend of innocence and experience. Father had flogged 2 servants when we were young, both for the crime of thievery. How had Clara never heard of it? Father would certainly flog Anna as well, for Clara's purity was worth much more than a stolen cigarette case. Does Arne love you? Clara shrugged again. If he does, he's a fool. But I think I was only a bit of fun. I stared at her, wanting to sit in judgment, yet unable. I, too, had spent many nights with a young man who was not my husband, and I hadn't even been smart enough to pick one I didn't care about, as Clara had. Who was to say that her choices were sins? Not I, for certain. Do you think my bosom is bigger? She asked, taking a deep breath.
Okay, so I read part 1, or act 1 of The Kingdom of Sweets. That's 78 pages inside the book, and I also finished the coaster. It's very pretty. But for the book, the drama of this all. Basically, when the twins are born, Natasha and Clara, their godfather, who I think is everyone's godfather, he gifts them light and darkness. So Clara gets light, and she's supposed to have like this happily ever life. Like everyone's supposed to love her. She's supposed to be carefree and all this other stuff, like beauty and grace. Where Natasha gets darkness, and it's very difficult for her because she is always in the shadows. 17 years later, they just turned 17, they're having a party. Both sisters, they love each other, but also there's some disconnect between them. You could tell like Natasha is very much getting fed up with her sister because her sister's very naive. And Natasha is in love with or infatuated with this boy named Conrad, who basically sneaks up into her room and they, you know, do it. But then Clara, the sister, the twin, is also having sex, but she ended up getting pregnant by someone who is a lower class than them, so nobody knows she's pregnant. And during the party, their godfather shows up after 17 years of not talking to anybody and not giving the blessings to other children. He shows up 17 years later to give them gifts that are very creepy and to announce Clara's engagement to Conrad. And Natasha is upset, rightfully so, because what is happening? But now something is happening. Basically, after the party, she doesn't want to talk to her sister. She's like, you knew I liked him and you're still going to be engaged to him. And she's like, well, I'm about to have this baby, and like, what would they say about me if I have this baby? And she's like, who cares? And now it's nighttime and there's like some creepy figure like coming after them, and they ended up, I believe they're in like a different world. But one of the gifts that was given to Clara by the godfather is a nutcracker who can talk and like move on its own, but how it sounds is like he has like human-like features or abilities, and he seems to get along with Natasha. So I'm curious to know what's gonna happen, because now we're gonna get into like wherever world they're at. And I just want to say, I do not like their father, okay? Like, their parents kind of suck. Their father is like using Clara as an investment to pawn her off to like the highest, wealthiest person, because he sucks at finances. His wife is basically using their financial money to have mediums come in and they do like tarot card readings and all that, but also he's cheating on her, and also he's not a good father. He treats Natasha like shit. But I'm gonna read more and then give you an update later. Okay, so I just finished section 2, act 2 of The Kingdom of Sweets, and let me tell you when I say I wasn't prepared, because I already said like Clara the twin was messed up for agreeing to the engagement to her sister's crush that she's been like sleeping with, but this is wild. I've never watched The Nutcracker, so I want to watch it now because now I'm curious. So basically, Clara and her sister Nat get sucked into this other world, but that other world is created just for Clara, and it's like a world of like sweets and candies and things that she enjoys, but it's not what it seems because it's kind of like evil. So she's going around eating all these chocolates, finding like this prince, and he's attractive, and they're taking her to this castle, this palace, to meet the Sugar Plum Fairy. But you could tell that all of the soldiers or marchers or like whoever's on that land, something's wrong with them, but also they fear the Sugar Plum Fairy. And when Natasha goes there, because she's not even supposed to be on this land, she meets the Sugar Plum Fairy, and they have a discussion about who she is, what she wants, and what the Sugar Plum Fairy wants. So the Sugar Plum Fairy was wronged by their godfather, and she's like, I'll make a deal with you. I'll help you out about the Clara and Conrad situation, and you help me with your grandfather. And Natasha, she has this thing in her mind where she's like, you can't kill Conrad, but you know, you could punish her sister. And at first I was like, listen, maybe it's a misunderstanding. Just talk to your sister. She didn't seem happy about getting married to this man. But then the Sugar Plum Fairy does some magic thing where like she reveals certain situations that happened in their lives as kids, as teenagers, of Clara getting what she wants, and how her friends, her family dictated or moved around Natasha's life to where it makes her life more miserable, and her parents really don't care about her. Conrad doesn't really care about her. Like, nobody cares about her. So she's getting fed up to the point where, I'm spoiling this. Am I spoiling this? I'm not going to spoil it because, listen, I wasn't ready. But she's getting super fed up, and she's like, I'm done with having this sister. And now we're on Act 3, and she's taking over her sister's body. Listen, I think there's 5 acts in here. I want to watch the Nutcracker. Because also the Sugar Plum Fairy, evil, even though like we find out who she really is, but crazy. I'm actually gonna go take a shower because I'm about to head out to the mall, go Christmas shopping, even though like I did most of my Christmas shopping, but my friend wants to go to the mall, and that's fine with me because I need to get out this house. So I'll read Act 3 later tonight. I think it's only till chapter 28, so 7 chapters. Also, these chapters are really short. I could probably finish this book tonight if I really wanted to. But I'll let you know what's happening. I don't know if I want to do it by each act. I think I'll just read it, and then if something happens, I'll let you know how I'm feeling. But so far, I'm really enjoying this book. I'm enjoying the writing. I like the fact that the chapters are very short. I really enjoy the audiobook for this. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. So I finished The Kingdom of Sweets. Unfortunately, it's not it. So I'm giving it a 2-star, a 2 out of 5 star. I don't know what happened after Act 2 because I assumed that this was going to be more magical and fun and No, that's not what happened. What happened was, after Act 2, Natasha entered her sister's body, Clara, and it just became boring. The writing is very tell, not show. And I think that's where the problem is. Because I didn't feel any connection to the main character or any characters at all. I also felt like no characters loved themselves or their lives. Like, because listen, her parents, the father was cheating on the mother anyway. The mother is spending her time with mediums, talking to the dead. Now she's married to Conrad, the person who's supposed to be the love of her life. And turns out, maybe she doesn't love him. Maybe she was just infatuated with him because he kind of sucks as a person. And she understands now that, like, he treated her different to how he's treating Clara. Because he's kind of treating Clara well in the fact like he's paying attention to her, but it also like fast forwards a few years and eventually it's a boring relationship, and he ends up getting upset with her because she's trying to be a good person and be nice to like servants and staff and anybody who's a worker, and he's like, don't do that, you need to be mean to them or they're gonna walk all over you, and she gets like talked down to because of that. And then he starts to cheat on her. So there's that. The only reason why I kept reading this was because I wanted to know why the Godfather put a curse and a blessing on the twins. Like, why would you do that? And when I found out there was really nothing, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I feel like I wasn't ready. I don't know. It also makes me confused to what the Nutcracker really is, because from the beginning, Act 1, Act 2, I thought it was going to be like more magical, more fairies, more being in this other world. And no, it was mainly us in Clara's body in her current world where it's super boring and she's like putting on this fake act because she has to act like her sister. And then somehow it became about war. So I gave it a 2-star because I was bored out of my mind. I did not care about these characters at all. At all. So 2 stars. I did go on Twitter because I was like, I need something to read. I need something that's gonna spark joy in me because this is a Christmas vlog, and I DNF'd a book and then now gave a book 2 stars. So I need something to spark joy or some type of excitement, something that's gonna make me happy. So no context. I seen this picture on Twitter, and it's called Trick Shot, and it's on Kindle Unlimited, and it's a spicy Christmas novella. So I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read that instead, and I'll let you know how it goes because I need something. So maybe Christmas is in 2 days, and I want to post this vlog on Christmas, probably around the afternoon, because I don't want my friends to look at it because I wrapped some of their gifts in this video. So I'm gonna read this. Maybe I'll find another Christmas novella, and I'll give you an update when I have one. Okay, so it's Christmas morning. Hello, it is currently, I can't see it, but it's 7:12. Good morning. Merry Christmas. I did finish Trick Shot, a spicy Christmas romance, and I'm giving it a 2 stars, unfortunately. I really hate miscommunication tropes. So basically, Riley is late to the airport, but it really doesn't matter because her flight gets delayed, but she runs into this man, I think it's this guy, whose name is Leo, but he's twin brothers to this person named Lucas, who is a hockey player. So he just accepts it because people always think he's Leo or thinks he's Lucas. So he pretends to be his brother, and they hit it off really well. Because their flights are canceled, and they're going to the same place, he's like, oh, you want to come over to my house? Where the other guy, this guy right here, Jace, is, and they're best friends. They've not in a relationship, but they do relationship things. And they decide to have a threesome with each other. And the night, this is all happening on Christmas Eve, the night is very intense and they all have like this connection with each other, but the whole time she doesn't know she's messing with Leo because he's like, no, I'm Lucas. And it just didn't make me feel good because Leo told Jace to play along with it. Even though Jason really didn't want to and it annoyed him, he did it because he understood the reasons why Leo does it. But I don't really care. It is very spicy. This whole book is just spice. And then when she finds out the truth about them the next morning, she leaves to her hometown because the flights are back on. I think there should have been more groveling. She accepted it too much. She also apologized too. I didn't like that. But this is a 2-star. So, unfortunately for the books I've read for Christmas, not really good. But I did watch a movie last night called Violent Nights. I'll put a cover up here. And it's with the dude from Stranger Things. This movie is so good. If you like gore and action and a little bit of comedy, you would like this movie. So basically, Santa is kind of tired of giving presents. He doesn't see the joy in it because he's like, kids don't appreciate it anymore. And he's like, this is my last night doing this job. And while he's giving gifts to one of the houses, these people like break into this house and start killing hella people. So they're holding hostages because they're looking for a lot of money. And one of the little girls has a walkie-talkie and she's been using it to try to contact Santa like the whole day before everything happened. So she contacts him and he ends up having a walkie-talkie too. And she basically is like, Santa, could you help us? And he was like, sure. And it just becomes a Santa on a killing spree thing with this family. I enjoyed it. The kill scenes are gruesome. They're gruesome. Kind of want to rewatch it. But other than that, I would say these books were okay. They weren't even okay to me. I would say you could skip all these books, okay? And then watch Violent Night. That is a good movie. Also, I'll show you a little gift I got from a friend. So I got me, my best friend, and our other friend a shirt that's all the same. And it just came in yesterday, so I was like, oh, clutch. But it's this. Since we're all book themed. This is the skin of a killer, Bella. Anyways, it's a good shirt. And I'm excited for today. I'm gonna give all my gifts. But thank you for sticking around. And I'll see you in my next video.